Today we're looking at old school Magic the Gathering combos that, by today's standards, are now unplayable. We're gonna start off with the Psychotog, combo. Some of these combos might be a little loose. So, black, blue, one generic, 1/2 a Tog. With the ability, discard a card from your hand, Psychotog gets +1/+1 until end of turn. But also, you can remove 2 cards in your graveyard from the game. Psychotog gets an additional +1/+1 until end of turn. Well, how on earth are we going to combo off with this card? We're going to use the Upheaval. I remember actually playing with this combo back in the day. Okay, we got a blue-blue 4 generic sorcery, return all permanents to their owner's hand. That's what's going to fuel the Psychotog. So now, you need a lot of mana for this. You're going to need a lot of lands. We're going to need lands, people. A lot of lands. Probably about at least 9 to pull this off, because you need to tap 9 mana, float 3 for the Psychotog, play your Upheaval, then with all 9 cards in hand, you go play out your Psychotog, and you're probably going to have to discard for the turn. Hopefully you got a loaded graveyard, and then over your next turn, when you draw for the turn, you'll go up to 8 cards, dump 8 onto the Psychotog, and hopefully if you have enough cards in your graveyard, you can finish off your opponent to death. I think at the time it's not like you're taking someone from 20 to 0. There are a lot of cards like Undermine at the time, which is a blue-blue-black counter target spell, and your opponent loses 3 life. So you may not have to do that big of a job to finish off the opponent, but yeah, there we go. Upheaval. Okay, next one. We got Fires of Yavimaya. Now, this was my bread and butter combo when I first started playing Magic the Gathering, my first entry into tournament Magic. Green-red, 1 generic enchantment. Creatures you control have haste. Sacrifice Fires of Yavimaya. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It had funny stuff going with it, with cards like Sapling Burst. Now, try to wrap your head around this thing. It's an enchantment for a green and 4 generic with Fading 7, alright? So we got Fading 7. Keep track of this. Remove a Fading counter. So if we go to, for example, 6, we get a Sapling creature token onto the battlefield. It has this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the Fade counters on Sapling Burst. So if we start at 7, remove 1, you have a 6/6 Sapling. If you remove another one, you have 2 5/5s. If you remove another one, you have 3 4/4s in play. Now the thing is, because they have haste, they can attack immediately. You don't like make a few. It's not like you make 2 5/5s, they don't attack. You got to wait next turn, because every turn you have to remove a fade counter at upkeep. So your 5/5s turn into 4/4s. No, you just create like 3 4/4s, attack, go wide, hit them hard, and you know what? If nothing else got blocked, you sacrifice the Fires of Yavimaya and hit them to like put them dead. Kill them dead. Alright, next one. I wasn't around at this time. I'm gonna have to take everyone's word for it. We got the Royal Assassin. A black 1 generic human assassin. It's a 1/1 creature. Tap, destroy target tap creature. That was probably just absolutely brutal at the time. Especially since like not every color had access to like creature removal. Like, what did green do at the time about this card? Probably nothing, except like, and you can attack during combat. Like, yeah, you attack me, okay, I'll just destroy it. It's as simple as that. It's not like destroy target tapped creature that dealt damage this turn. You just one-shot kill. You need vigilance. I don't even know if vigilance was invented back then. So how do we combo with this card? The Icy Manipulator. You're not going to attack with your creatures? Well, I'm going to force you to do it anyway. Pay 4 mana for an artifact. Pay 1, tap target artifact, creature, or land. Icy may thaw, but Malice never does. So you force your opponent's creatures to get tapped, and you just blow them up until end of turn. If you're not going to tap them, I'm going to do it for you. That's how people did it back then. Anyway, no one would play this combo by today's standards. Icy Manipulator, Royal Assassin? Is this modern legal? Someone should try to build a modern deck composed of like really old all-star staples to see how well they would do. Maybe Royal Assassin wouldn't be that bad. We don't really have any creature that says tap, destroy target creature. Maybe we just have to force our... I don't know what cards exist in the game right now to force our opponents to tap the creatures, though. Okay. Moving on. Liquid Soulfly says, anything to do with coming into play, getting errated into enters the battlefield? It's all basically the same stuff. Okay, Bulky says, Guy's Liege and Lumbering Satyr. What is this combo all about? Lumbering Satyr, green, 2 generic, 5/4 beast. All creatures gain Forest Walk. Yeah, that has some potential. And then we have Guy's Liege here, green, 3 generic. It's like Elk Jesus or something. It's got antlers coming out of his head. It's an avatar, star avatar. Guy's Liege, power and toughness are each equal to the number of force you control. As long as Guy's Liege is attacking, its power and toughness are each equal to the number of force defending player controls instead. And tap target land becomes a force until Guy's Liege leaves play. Did people really play this? This is like the Spreading Seas, and then this is like the Lord of Atlantis, sort of, in some sets. But it's so expensive. Like, it's really expensive. When did this come out? This was revised, and this was Masks block. They don't even have anything to do with each other. Well, if you played that combo, I could see the combo. I don't know if it was ever any good, though. But it's definitely an old school combo that doesn't work. Toilet Duck says, anything involving mana burn. What do you mean, like with mana short or something? Okay, we've got Christopher B, a Proclamation of Rebirth. This isn't even that old. And Kami of the False Hope. Honestly, I'm hoping for older combos than this. I think it's just Kami. Sorry, it's Kami of False Hope. So this is the Fogging creature for 1 white, 1/1. Sacrifice it, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. But Proclamation of Rebirth is a white 2 generic sorcery. Return up to 3 target creature cards with convert mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to play. But it's got forecast. So for 6 mana, reveal Proclamation of Rebirth from your hand. Return target creature card with convert mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to play. It's like buyback. It's basically it's buyback, but you get like a weaker version of it, so you don't get 3 creatures, just get 1. So when you use the forecast of Proclamation of Rebirth, you get keep recycling your Kami of the False Hope, which is totally fine in like one-on-one Magic. 3-on-1, I don't know how good this is. It's probably a lot worse. All right, we got some super chats. Let's take a look at Abe, Malira, and Murderous Redcap. I guess it's not what it used to be. This is an aged combo. Okay, Murderous Redcap is a Rakdos 2 generic 2/2 Goblin Assassin. When Murderous Redcap, it's Red Crap now, but when Murderous Redcap enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. You do need a sack outlet though, so it has Persist. When this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return to the battlefield under its owner's control with that -1/-1 counter. But Malera says, creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters placed on them. So if you have a sack outlet with Murderous Redcap, you basically just sack it, it enters the battlefield, deals damage to you, doesn't get the -1 counter, and then you just repeat the process till they're dead. Would prefer a little bit older, but it's basically old school modern combo. Yo, Little Ted, thanks so much for the super chat. I'll give you a better super chat sound effect than that. Okay, Nightmare. That's old school. And Magical Hack. Ugh, so many cards called Nightmare. This is the Nightmare, though. Just change the land to kill the Nightmare. Oh, is that how it works? So change the text of target permanent or spell by replacing all instances of one basic land type with another. This is not a combo. Nightmare's power and toughness are each equal to the number of swamps you control. So the idea is this was like an old school interaction. And it's still playable by today, but you'll just never face any nightmares. I will say this, if you try to play this card on Magic the Gathering Online, it won't work. It doesn't work. I've tried to use these cards by changing the text. They're like, Magic Online is like, I don't know what's going on here. What are you even trying to do here? Okay, how about Prosperous Bloom? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Prosperity and Cadaverous Bloom. Cadaverous Bloom. That was an old school. I don't even know how that combo works. So we have Cadaverous Bloom, a green, black 3 generic enchantment. Choose target card. Choose a card in your hand and remove it from the game. Add black, black, or green, green to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source. I don't know what to, like, consider this by today's standards. And then Prosperity. Blue, X. Each player draws X cards. I don't even remember what they did with this mana. And the deck looks so weird if you look at those that combo deck. It looks like a 4 or 5 color nonsense archetype. Guess it worked at that time. Hey, drawing cards, still good. I get what you're supposed to draw your opponent's deck to death. I don't even remember how they finished each other off. Anyway, okay, moving on. We got Alpha Nerd here. Thanks so much, Alpha Nerd. Sensei Divining Top ×2. And then Helm of Awakening and any storm spell. How does that work? Helm of Awakening. All spells cost 1 generic mana less to play. Ah, all spells? Oh, the spell costs less. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so Sensei Divine Top is free, and it has the ability to draw a card, then put Sensei's Divine Top on top of its owner's library. Yeah, that would work. That is pretty neat. Did anyone was that really a line back then? These come from 2 different eras, don't they? This is like Kamigawa. This is like Visions. Not even the same ballpark, but whatever. I could definitely see that combo. And then of course you have to finish your opponent off with a storm spell or something like that. This is a real combo. Christopher, Cephalid Illusionist, Nomad's Encore. It literally is legacy playable by today. It's good. It's fresh still. It's an old school combo that still works. These are old school combos that don't work. Don't work anymore. Sword of the Meek and or like they're like real crap. Here, you know what? I'm gonna take this one. Sword of the Meek. It might come back in some form in some decks. Sword of the Meek and Thopter Foundry. Very, very famous combo. This is the artifact. Pay 1, sack a non-token artifact. Create a 1/1 blue Thopter artifact creature token with flying. You gain 1 life. This card was banned for crying out loud. Or what? No, was this banned or was this banned? I can't remember what was banned. What was on the modern ban list. I want to say it, I don't remember which one. One of them was. And then we have Sword of the Meek for 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+2, equipped for 2. But whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach it to that creature. So effectively, what you do is you sacrifice the artifact that you're sacrificing with Thopter Foundry is the Sword of the Meek. You're going to get a 1/1, and then Sword of the Meek will just equip to that 1/1 creature. And then with Thopter Foundry, you continue. So as much mana as you have, you make 1/1s because you can keep sacking the sword and keep bringing it back. Was like very, very good and extended. I think it was legacy playable at one point. Was banned in modern for no reason. They unbanned it, did nothing. Sometimes with Urza they play it, but like actually this is just very, very poor. This is a very, very underwhelming combo these days. Oh, you're gonna make a bunch of 1/1s on the battlefield. Go for it. Be my guest. Doesn't Scryfall tell you if a card is banned? Yeah, it does. It tells you if a card is banned, but it doesn't tell you if it was banned. Like so I guess it was Sword of the Meek that was banned. Sword of the Meek was banned, but it has been unjailed. Channel Fireball, the OG. I don't really want to count that one because I think if are there any channel like Fireball type abilities in Vintage, or maybe it doesn't work anymore. It's sort of a lame combo. It doesn't work today only because this card's banned everywhere. You show me a format you can play this card. Look, you just can't play it anywhere. It's not that it's unplayable. It's just that you're not allowed to play it anywhere. That's all. The Pilla-Palla Grand Architect. Oh, this one. Pilla-Palla. Oops. Pili-Palla. That's how it is. Pili-Palla. And Grand Architect. I guess we don't have enough super old school people here. These are all, you guys are all middle school people. You guys are all deriving these combos like around the 2005 plus era. Okay, Grand Architect, blue, 1 generic for a 1/3. now the special ability is tap and untap blue creature you control. Add 2 colorless. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts, but also blue. Target artifact creature becomes blue until end of turn. Then we got the Pili Pala for 2 mana. It's a 1/1 flyer. Pay 2, and you got to untap it. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So with the Grand Architect, tap and untap blue creature you control. So you can turn, I believe, the Pilipala blue. Then you tap it for double colorless. Then you get to untap it. Use that double colorless to untap it for a blue. And then you have infinite blue mana. Toad's been playing since 94. Okay, where's your combos then, Toads? I'm gonna look for yours. Where's your... Do you say anything, Toads? I don't see your combos here. I was there. Lich and Mirror Universe. Alright, I believe you. I believe you. Alright, so Grand Architect Pilipala is infinite blue mana, which is very underwhelming by today's standard. Okay, we got Lich. The Lich. Oh, where are you, Lich? Oh, you ugly thing. And then Mirror Universe. How does it work? I don't even know what Mirror Universe is. 6 mana, artifact, tap, sack Mirror Universe, exchange life totals with target opponent. Oh my goodness. Place ability only during your upkeep. Okay, so Lich says black, 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 black enchantment. Enters the battlefield. You lose life equal to your life total. You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. If you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. Whenever you're dealt damage, sacrifice that many non-token permanents. If you can't, you lose the game. When Lich is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you lose the game. That is a sick combo. That is unbelievable. That is just a one-shot kill. And it's not even hard. Back then they had so many rituals or whatever. You could like Mirror Universe first and has no activated. I think you could play this today. Why doesn't anyone do this? I mean, maybe Mirror Universe is just a little expensive, but it's not even irrelevant by itself. Like if someone's trying to kill you, you just Mirror Universe and like swap the life totals, give yourself the 20 life, give your opponent like the 3 life. I think that's perfectly acceptable. And you just slam Lich and then that's it. You slam Lich, Mirror Universe them, game over. This is an incredible. That is insane. That deserves another like siren sound. They should still play that thing. Oh, are they? Oh, they're both reserve list cards. This thing is like this thing's reserve. This thing's $272, and this thing is like $183. Wow, that's a very expensive old school combo. Good luck pulling that one off. Good luck getting your wallet to pull that one off. All right, we got more super chats coming up. We got King Ginger, Nim Deathmantle, Wormcoil Engine. Did anyone really do this? And Ash Nods Altar. I've never heard of this combo. There's gonna be a lot of combos I've never heard of. So I guess the idea is Altar lets you sack creatures that add colorless mana, double colorless. Then Wormcoil Engine is a creature that you sack it, you get 2 golems. And then we have Nim Deathmantle, 2 generic equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has Intimidate, and is a black zombie. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield and attach Nim Deathmantle to it. Was this really a combo? When did Ashnod's Altar come out? I find it hard to believe that this was this actually was an old school combo. It's a combo, I see it. So basically, you sack your Wormcoil Engine, then you need to pay 4 mana. You just pay like actually, how do you do? Oh, so you net 2 mana. You sack the Wormcoil Engine for 2 mana. You're gonna get 2 tokens. You just sack one of those tokens to get another 4 mana to get your Wormcoil Engine back, thanks to the Nim Deathmantle. Okay, John says, Mirror Universe doesn't work because the rules were such that you only died if you had 0 life at the end of your phase? I don't understand why it wouldn't work. That you only died if you had 0 life at the end of your phase. I mean, you just exchange life totals. They have 0 mana, pass the phase, and then they're dead. If I understand correctly. Which I do think I understand correctly. All right, next super chat. Triox with a huge super chat. Doomsday. Mind's Desire. Bacon. Bacon? You mean Beacon, I think? Okay, we have Doomsday. We have a lot of old school cards in here. Mind's Desire. It's basically old school Storm, right? Is it really Bacon? No, there's no Bacon card. I think you mean Beacon. Was it Beacon of Destruction? Yeah. The Bacon of Destruction! Lotus! Mox, oh, you mean just play out a bunch of spells or whatever. Okay, so let's see. The heart of the combo is Beacon of Destruction. Red, 3 generic. Deals 5 damage to target creature or player. Shuffle Beacon of Destruction into its owner's library. You also have Mind's Desire here. Blue, 4 generic. Shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost with Storm. And you also have Doomsday. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards, exile the rest. Put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order. You lose life. You lose half your life rounded up. Oh, I get it. So you want to stack your top deck with Lotuses and stuff. This is more like vintage combo. Come on, didn't anyone play like Standard in 93? Somewhere between 93 and 2000? But how does this, why would you want to Doomsday this? Deals 5 damage to our creature or player. Shuffle Beacon of Destruction to its owner's library. Oh, it's instant. But how do you repeat this process? Shuffle Beacon. So you get, I don't actually know how this combo works. Does this even work? Because you want a Doomsday Beacon, Lotus, Petals, and stuff, and I understand Mind's Desire. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. But the thing is, if you wanted to play this repeatedly, like you could play it once, put back into your deck, let more storm triggers storm or whatever. But then, like at some point, you got to play Lotuses, right? Beacon is ammo for Mind's Desire. You only have only Beacon in your deck. Yeah, but like, how do you keep drawing this? You Mind's Desire the Beacon that goes back in the deck, so it keeps being played by Mind's Desire. No, but like after the storm triggers, you're only going to get X storm count, right? And then that's it. And then there's nothing left. Yeah, storm copies on the stack. Only one gets the beacon and it shuffles back, and the remaining storm copies will get is that how it works? So you have one. Oh, I see. Okay, so what you really want to do, I don't understand what the point of Doomsday is then, because you only have 5 cards left on your deck, right? I think the real combo is just Mind's Desire. Oh, but you want to empty your library. Oh, it's only 5 damage. So you have to hit your opponent 4 times. So you go Lotus, Petal, Mind's Desire, some card draw spell. Okay, I get it. Okay. Story checks out. Story checks out. Mr. Deadhead's like, I'm eating, but I am an old player. Yes, we do. Oh, David with Deranged Hermit and Lifeline. How did that work? So Lifeline says, 5 mana artifact. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard and a creature is in play, return that creature from your graveyard to the play at end of turn. That is a sick combo. Deranged Hermit was like the master of waves at the time. It was a green 3 generic 1/1. Enters the battlefield. You put 4 you get 4 1/1 squirrel creature tokens onto the battlefield. And the squirrels get +1/+1. And so like if you repeat this process, you keep getting more squirrel creature tokens. See, that's the old school combo I want to see. I like that old school combo a lot. You just keep making more tokens. Keep making more. It's almost like, it's like the old school version of blinking something. Blinking the hard way. I don't even know if blinking was invented back then. What was the first blinking card? All right, well, we got more super chats. More super chats. We got Alpha. Thanks so much, Alpha Nerd. Ruby, Mox, Black Lotus, Channel Fireball. Oh, it's not very original. It is old. But here's the thing. I think it would be playable if all those cards were unbanned. These cards are just supremely banned, that's all. We've got Robert Palancron. This is so old school that they put him in like the Legacy Cube and stuff. And Hurricane? Is that how they sometimes did it? Did they do it with a blue Hurricane? Alright, green X. Hurricane deals X damage to each creature with flying and each player. How are we gonna... Okay, so like how are we gonna dome our opponent for like 20 or whatever damage? We need mana, a lot of mana. High Tide. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds a blue to his or her mana pool. Oh wow, this is symmetrical. This sometimes could backfire on you. I never thought about that. And then we have Palincron, which will help us get infinite mana. It's 7 mana for a 4/5 flying creature. But when it enters the battlefield, untap up to 7 lands. So the deal is, you might have, like, I don't know, 5 lands in play, 1 blue, High Tide, float 4 mana. Tap 4 lands, get 8 mana, play your Palincron, untap all your lands, and then all you have to do is tap 2 lands to pay the 4 mana, return Palincron to its owner's hand, repeat the process, get infinite mana thanks to your High Tide, and then smack your opponent for... Gotta make sure they have less life than you, though, because otherwise you're both going down together. You both go down with the ship. Isaiah says, I believe the first blinking card is called Flicker. It was released in Urza's Destiny. So it did exist back then. Phyrexian Dreadnought and Stifle. That is actually an archetype today in Legacy. So actually it's very playable. It's an old school combo that is still good. So that one actually doesn't count. I want garbage combos, people. No one's playing this Hurricane High Tide crap anymore. Alright? You don't see it. You don't see those anymore. Markzilla, Stasis and Time Elemental. What was that? I'm sure there was a lot of Stasis combos back then. All right, we got Stasis and Time Elemental. Stasis, blue 1 generic enchantment. Players skip their untapped steps. You got to pay a blue 8 upkeep, or unless you have to, otherwise you sack Time Elemental. Sorry, otherwise you sack Stasis. Time Elemental is a blue 2 generic 0/2 elemental from Legends. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. It's back to a templating that makes sense. If Time Elemental attacks or blocks, it deals 5 damage to you and is buried at end of combat. Okay, so just don't do anything. Blue 2, return target permanent with no enchantments on it to its owner's hand. So I guess the idea is you bounce your Stasis so that you can untap all your stuff, then you replay Stasis, and then just repeat this process. Oh, that is old school. And work. Alright, let's look at your little Ted. Pandemonium and Sapperling Burst. It makes me wonder why no one tries these now. I guess it's just a little too expensive of a combo. Like, this could work today. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a little chunky, that's all. It's a red 3 generic enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, that creature's controller can have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player of his or her choice. Now, we looked at Sapperling Burst earlier. And so the way it works out, so we got those 7 fading counters, remember? We got 7 fading counters. You remove 1, you get a 6/6. Deal your opponent for 6. Let's get the calculator out. I got a calculator. Where's my calculator? Okay, we're gonna do the math here. So you got you remove the first fading counter, you deal 6 damage. The next fading counter will bring a 5/5 in play, deal 5 damage. The next one will deal 4. The next one will deal 3. Then 2. Then 1. What do we got? In the end, we got 21 damage between the Sapperling Burst, thanks to Pandemonium. So that math checks out. That was a really lethal extended combo. I think it also saw a little bit of legacy play. And it was, yeah, just completely worthless now. No one wants that combo anymore. All right, we're going to look at more old school combos. And if you need those old school combos, well, now's the best time to go shop for them at FusionGamingOnline.com, because this week's Deal of the Week is save up to 15% off all revised singles. You don't want to get them black border cards. They're more expensive. The white border cards, that's where it's at because they're cheaper. And you want to make them even more cheaper in addition to them being revised, in addition to them having the 15% off. Use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5 additional % off all your purchases, and it supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Your ability to play all these if you want, there's all sorts of people obsessed with trying old stuff in today's metagame. And if you want to If you want to recklessly experiment with that, well, that's what Mana Traders is for. It's for the experimentation, to see if old is new. If the old is the new. If that makes any sense to people. I might not have got that right. And you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_PG2. Actually, a really good example of like an old combo that came back to life was that the one that Christopher B was on. It was the what's it called, Cephalid Illusionist, combining with Nomad's Encore. Where is it? So this is a white 1/1 with a 0 mana ability. The next 1 damage that would be dealt to Nomad's Encore this turn is dealt to target creature you control instead. And so you can have it, even though no damage is being dealt to that creature yet, you can direct it to Cephalid Illusionist, which says whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So this is like a really old combo that was like brought back to life very recently in Legacy, and is very, very strong. Very strong deck. But you never know that unless you try it out with Mana Traders. That's what I say. All right, but moving on, we got more super chats. Let's get through them super chats. I appreciate all of you. Astral Slide and Mind's Desire. Man, that Mind's Desire is broken. It is banned. Like, it's completely banned in Legacy. I barely even know this card exists. Okay, again, this is the shelf of your library, then exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you can play the card without paying its mana cost. It's got Storm. And you use Astral Slide with it, so white, 2 generic enchantment. Whenever a player cycles a card, you may exile target creature. If you do, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. I have no idea how this works. Like, why would this even do anything? Liquid Soulfly says, Mind's Desire is broken because it always hits another Mind's Desire. It is broken for that reason, isn't it? What's the combo here? We're not even cycling anything with Mind's Desire. If player cycles a card, you may exile target creature, but it blinks it, right? If you do, return the exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, did it? Arethusa says, I mean, Mind's Desire got banned 6 days after Scourge is released. I didn't know that. That's wild. You had to emergency ban this card. All right. Spectral Maniac. We can't forget the classic Illusions of Grandeur. Oh my god, I love this combo. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite combos in the entire game. Donate. Blue 2 generic. Target player gains control of target permanent you control. Why would you want to do that? Like, why would you want to give someone something of your own? And you have Illusions of Grandeur, which is absolute trash card by itself. It's a blue 3 generic with cumulative upkeep of 2. Enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Leaves the battlefield, you lose 20 life. So basically, you just temporarily have 20 life. But the way it works is, comes into play, you gain 20 life. Next turn, you pay the upkeep of 2. Then you give it to someone with 20 or less life. And then all of a sudden, they have to pay the upkeep, or they're going to lose 20 life. That's wild. I always looked at this as like 2 cards that were absolute dog crap trash. Yeah, like by themselves, but it ended up being like one of the most powerful combos in the history of the game. And now it's just worthless. No one wants to play this deck. I should try this in Legacy. It's probably undermined by a bunch of life gain cards. You just go up to 20, like 22, 23 life, and basically you don't have to worry about this anymore. Alright, Cuse Gaming. Thank you very much for your super chat. Kismet. Stasis. Yeah, I'm sure back then Stasis was like the bulk of a lot of combos. And Chronotog. Never take a turn yourself. Chrono. Never take a turn yourself. An opponent can never play anything, then they deck out. Oh, the old self-mill strategy. Chronotog, blue 1 generic. Skip your next turn. Chronotog gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Use this ability only once each turn. Then we've got Stasis. So players skip their untap steps, but you use Chronotog to basically skip your turn so you don't have to pay the upkeep of Stasis. It's So like, look at all these little cute little ways people are trying to cheat on stasis. Such an iconic card, and sees no play today. It's just wild, except for like maybe in Commander. And then we got Kismet, a white 3 generic enchantment. Artifact creatures and lands played by your opponent enter the battlefield tab. Ooh, that's just absolutely got a sting. And I mean that in a good way. The buzzer sound in a good way. It's good for the combo. Just absolutely screws over the opponent. Yeah, that's a lock. That's like and Stax was born. The birth of Stax and death and taxes and all such other stuff like that. Yo, Lil Ted, love it. Icy Manipulator and Winter Orb. I'm starting to see why Icy Manipulator was like one of the best cards at the time. So you force your opponent to you tap their artifacts, creatures, or lands, but then you rub salt in the wound with Winter Orb. 2 mana artifact. As long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during their untap step. So you can hit it both ways, really. Icy Manipulator can tap down their stuff, which chokes them more on mana, or you tap down your own Winter Orb so that you can untap everything. Because Winter Orb says as long as Winter Orb is untapped, players can't untap more than 1 land during each of their untap steps. So at end of your opponent's turn, well, I'm going to use Icy Manipulator and tap my Winter Orb. I get to untap everything. You stay screwed. What was this? A poly artifact? What did they call it back then? They didn't make any sense to me. It was a continuous artifact. A continuous artifact. The art on this is wild. Makes no sense to me at all. Why there's a polar bear and like some sort of brain moon over here. But like, that was a really, really cool art at the time. Worth noting that tapping artifact is essentially a blank card back then. Tapped artifact? Oh, okay. Continuous artifact. Thank God they're not bringing that crap back. Type in Astral Slide explained on Google. Explains it concisely. No, thank you. I've spent enough on it, but thank you very much. Night Owl. Cowardice. And Sway of Illusion. So Cowardice is blue 3 generic enchantment. Whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, return that creature to its owner's hand. Oh my god, yeah. And then you have Sway of Illusion, blue 1 generic. Any number of target creatures become the color of your choice until end of turn you draw a card. So I'm gonna bounce all your stuff back to your hand, and I get to draw a card out of it. And like worst case scenario, this is like a cantrip. Yeah, that's a combo. I think it was one of the more jankier combos at the time, but you know, combo's a combo. And definitely no one would want to play this card. No one would play this combo by today's standards. I still think Rob Boy's like, I still think interrupt sounds cooler than instant. I guess the idea is interrupt sounds like it was in response to something, but not every instant is interrupting everything. So they had to change it. All right, next we've got King Ginger with Time Vault. Does this even count? Were you animating your Time Vault? I don't believe this was a real combo. Okay, so you have Time Vault, Instill Energy, and Animate Artifact. Oh, I guess it could have been Animate Artifact. Okay, whole deal is Time Vault, enters battlefield tapped, doesn't untap during your untap step. If you begin your turn while Time Vault is tapped, you may skip the turn instead. If you do untap Time Vault, tap, take an extra turn after this one. Instill Energy, green enchantment, enchanted creature has haste, pay 0, untap enchanted creature, activate this ability only during your turn and only once each turn. So the deal is you can animate your Time Vault with Animate Artifact. As long as enchanted artifact isn't a creature, it's an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost. This is an old card, back from them revised days. So you animate your poor Time Vault. I'm alive! You put Instill Energy on it, and you can untap it for 0 mana and continuously take infinite turns. Wow, you can take infinite turns on the spot. You don't even have to wait until next turn. You could, in response, if they even had a removal spell, they actually can't do any. Well, they have to do use a removal. We can't use a removal spell. No, they can. You have to animate it first, then you put the Instill Energy on it because it's an aura. Yeah, so they could do that, but anyway, you know what I mean. Yeah, no one's playing this today. Also, Time Vault is mega banned and restricted everywhere. The instill energy is still good, used in old school. It's just nowadays there are better alternatives. Oh, absolutely. This combo makes Time Vault preemptively banned back in 1994. Really? That's wild. The World Gorger... does anyone play this still? World Gorger... the World Gorger Dragon in Anime Dead. I don't really feel like explaining this combo. Okay, just trust me. Just Google it. Flying Trample, enters the battlefield, exile all other perms you control. When World Gorger Dragon leaves the battlefield, return the exile cards to the battlefield under its owner's control. So the idea is you want to animate dead this thing. It's going to enter the battlefield. It loses enchant creature, whatever. Okay, so animate dead enters the battlefield as a physical permanent. It's going to bring World Gorger Dragon back, which then says exile all other perms you control, which includes the animate dead. And then it's like infinite. What it does, it infinitely blinks everything on the battlefield in a loop. So you better have some like means of winning the game. Otherwise, you lock the game. Because Animate Dead will then leave the battlefield thanks to World Gorger Dragon. When Animate Dead leaves the battlefield, World Gorger Dragon leaves the battlefield. When World Gorger Dragon leaves the battlefield, Animate Dead comes back, looks for them World Gorger Dragon, and it just blinks your entire board over and over again. You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me. CEDH plays this combo, and I think Vintage does as well. Yeah, but like, competitive Magic doesn't play this combo at all. Guardian Beast and Navinral's Disc. Oh, that's Guardian Beast. What is this all about? Okay, so black 3 generic 2/4 beast. As long as Guardian Beast is untapped, non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They are indestructible and other players can't gain control of them. This effect doesn't remove auras already attached to those artifacts. So how does that work with the Navinral's Disc? As long as Guardian Beast is untapped, non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They're indestructible. Does that mean this is indestructible? Oh, does that mean so long as... Okay, so long as you have Guardian Beast, Navinral's Disc can't blow itself up? Is that what you're saying here? The disc enters the battlefield tap, pay 1 tap, destroy all artifact creatures and enchantments. Now, Navinral's Disc is an artifact, but according to Guardian Beast, it's indestructible now. I don't know about disc for days. You can disc once, because you're going to kill your Guardian Beast. And then that's it. So you get two pops at the Navinral's Disc, which is totally fine. It says destroy. It doesn't sack. I don't get it. As long as Guardian Beast is untapped, non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They're indestructible, and other players can't gain control of them. Well, maybe I should see the Oracle text, just in case. Non-creature artifacts you control can't be enchanted. They have indestructible, and other players can't gain control of this. It's pretty... It looks, as far as I'm concerned, you get like one shot with Navinral's Disc, because it'll blow up the Guardian Beast. The point is, you destroy their stuff with the disc. Yeah, your artifacts remain. As far as I'm concerned. Even with Lattice, it would still be a creature. It is a cute combo. Argentina says, the entire full English breakfast deck, Volras, Shapeshifters, this is a bit too many cards here. Volras, Shapeshifter, Survival of the Fittest, Flowstone, Helion, Attack, Activate, -1/-1, in response, discard Phyrexian Dreadnought. This is too many cards for me. It's a lot of words! So if anyone wants to look up that combo, go for it. I have more super chats to get through. I have too many super chats. Yo Little Ted, thanks so much for your super chat. Opalescence, Parallax Wave. Oh, this is a lot of combo cards, but it is an old one. Opalescence. Oh, wait a minute. I think I remember this one. Parallax Wave. And Parallax Tide. Exile all opponents' lands and critters for forever. How does this work? It's something to do with, like, with stuff on the stack. You, like, wipe out your opponent's stuff. Okay, so Opalescence. Each other global enchantment is a creature with power and toughness, each equal to its converted mana cost, and is still an enchantment. I don't know how that card is relevant to this combo. Parallax Wave was remove a fading counter from Parallax Wave, exile target creature. When Parallax Wave leaves the battlefield, each player returns to the battlefield all cards he or she owns exiled with Parallax Wave. But then there was Parallax Tide, which was remove a fading counter from Parallax Tide, remove target land from the game. When Parallax Tide leaves the battlefield, each player returns to play all cards he or she owns removed from the game with Parallax Tide. I don't remember how this works, though. There is... Okay, Parallax Wave removes itself to screw up 4 other cards. Yeah, so it's like... oh, yeah, because it is in 2 different... Okay, yeah, it's 2 different paragraphs. So what you do is you remove... Like, you remove 4 stuff of your opponent's stuff from the game on the stack. You haven't resolved any of them. And with the last one, you remove Parallax Tide from the stack. Sorry, you remove Parallax Tide from the game on the stack. So it will remove itself. Then the second part triggers, but nothing has left play yet. Nothing has been exiled. Then all the first 4 triggers or activated abilities of Parallax Tide then resolve, exiling lands from the game. And then we have Parallax Wave. Remove a fade counter from Parallax Wave, exile target creature. Oh, that's it. So you turn this into a creature with Opalescence. So with 5 things, you remove... What you really do is... you exile 4 things, I guess, with Parallax Tide. And then you can remove, with Parallax Wave, you can remove the Parallax Tide from the game. And then you just wipe out a bunch of stuff. And then you can remove your Parallax Wave, I guess, from the game. And then you get your Parallax Tide back and remove more stuff. So like do they loop? They loop back into when they remove themselves. So, but how do I... Could you simultaneously hit both of them at the same time? The fade counters don't go bye-bye forever, because like if they get removed from the game and come back into play, they will come into play with the counters again. They don't loop, it's just like a big long combo. I'm trying to think how this could loop. There might be a loop, but I don't think so. I think you just wipe out a bunch of your opponent's stuff. I remember this was a thing. This was like an interaction back in the day for the replenish combo decks, but Rob was like, too complicated. Me big green creature and attack. Ooga booga. I know this one. It's I can't figure it out on the spot, but I do know, I can see that you can exile a bunch of stuff, then exile the Parallax Tide before any of the first triggers resolved. Then after Parallax Tide leaves the battlefield, anything that was getting exiled is gone for forever. Is coffee or smoothie today? More like a frappuccino. Frappuccinos. I have like workouts in the morning before Coffee and MTG, and then I get my protein some delicious chocolate protein powder in with coffee and a bunch of ice cubes. If the Parallax Wave exile itself, it will give itself back with all the counters. Yeah, it'll come back with the counters. Anyway, okay, if anyone in the comment section wants to tell us like the most optimal way to pull off this combo, I'm all ears, and so is everybody else. We'd love to hear how this worked back then. This was just a little bit before my time, where this was really relevant. I started playing Magic in Invasion block, so I didn't really experience this combo, because the replenish cards from, like the Opalescence and replenish cards got cycled out. So I don't really know this combo very well. More super chats. Sky Neo. Mog Maniac. Is this really a combo? Mog Maniac. Magmasaur. Simulacrum. This was not an old combo. You're BSing me here. And Earthquake. Why does this even work? This seems like such a bunch of random cards. Okay, starting with Mog Maniac. When it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. Like, that just sounds like a combo with Earthquake. I don't understand we need anything else. So the Magmasaur comes into play with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove a counter from Magmasaur. If you don't, sack it, and it deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to each creature without flying in each player. I don't understand. So the combo is just Mog Maniac, effectively an Earthquake. That's it. I don't understand the point of the all the other cards in between. Yo, little Ted. Oh, thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, we already got this one. Okay, the Time Vault Animate Artifact Instill Energy. Okay, thank you very much. You people are... Was it really that big back then? I guess so. It's probably the reason they had to ban Time Vault. So funny, this really janky 3-card combo. Hey, back then they had Ancestral Recall, so things were pretty consistent back then. Alright, Alpha Nerd. Grimoire Thief. Paradise Mantle and Pemon's Aura. No, was this really a thing? Paradise Man. I didn't know Grimoire Thief was a combo in anything. And Pemon's Aura. Pemon's Aura. So, I guess you put the Pemon's Aura on the Grimoire Thief. Blue, 1 generic. I guess you had to... The most important was the untap enchanted creature. So you could tap and untap with Paradise Mantle, because Paradise Mantle is a 0 mana equipment, equipped for 1. Tap a creature, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you could use that 1 mana untap with Pemon's Aura. And Grimoire Thief, whenever it becomes tapped, remove the top 3 cards of target opponent's library from the game face down. Oh, again, that's the only thing you need. And all these other abilities are useless. So it's just basically a 3-card mill combo. Cool. Sweet stuff. So Argentina trying to explain things to us. Basically, you attunement the Parallax and the Opal to the grave, then replenish. Then when they come back, you exile 5 of their lands each wave and 4 of their creatures. Yeah, but we're trying to figure out how to do it without replenish. If there was something. Just Simulacrum? Oh, there was like another card called literally Simulacrum. Oh! See, I thought you guys were shortcutting. Alright, black 1 generic instant. All damage done to you so far this turn is instead retroactively applied to target creature you control. Further damage this turn is treated normally. Ah, okay. So basically you can throw that damage on the Mog Maniac. Can you put that on the Mog Maniac? I guess, does the damage go on the stack back then? I don't think so. It would just die. I think only damage only went on the stack in combat. Or was the damage supposed to go on the Magmasaur? I don't know. I sort of get it. I sort of get the combo. Alright, Abzo, Teamer, Sabretooth, and Dockside Extortionist. That is a new combo. That's not old school at all. Old school combos, please, people. At least 15 years old. At least. Oh, and then Hey Paulman says, with the Parallax combo, you exile your own lands and they come back untapped. Ah, also, that's interesting. Infinite. Well, if you can show us how to infinite anything. I don't see the loop yet. Okay, Name says, the way you pull off this combo. Okay, let's go back. We're going back to the Parallax wave. This apparently is quite a hot topic. Is you play it and then spend 45 minutes arguing about it, and back then there was a clock on game, so the game's ended a draw. Okay. Alright then. Sylvan Basilisk and Lure. Some EDH players still like this combo. Okay, Sylvan Basilisk. It's 5 mana for a 2/4. Becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. And we're gonna make them block with Lure. Enchanted creature. All creatures able to block enchanted creature do so. Yeah, everyone's like, I remember hearing about this Parallax combo, but don't remember the combo. Combos we forgot how to actually pull off. That could be a whole different episode. I'm at least 15 years old. Does that make me old school? Not really, but like, I'm putting the barometer at 15. I would say, you know what I would say is old school? I would say old school is like before the border changed. Before the modern border changed, I would cut that off at old school. So if you were playing before the modern border changed to what it is today, I'd say you're an old school player. Before that internets and all the net decking and stuff, well, there was net decking back then. See, that's an old, yeah, so you've been playing since Urza's. That's old school. A blitz! That was definitely not an old school combo, but I like the idea. That's very funny. Okay, Beanpot has something. Iridescent Drake, Abduction, and Ultra of Dementia. This is an old school card. That's so wild. This thing came out in Tempest. Okay, so how does this, what is this going, what is it all about? Okay, we have a blue 3 generic 2/2 Drake. Flying. When Iridescent Drake enters the battlefield, put target aura card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control attached to Iridescent Drake. Okay, so you get Abduction, I guess. When Abduction comes into play, untap enchanted creature. You control enchanted creature. When enchanted creature is put into a graveyard, return that creature to play under its owner's control. So what does this? What does this do? Enters the battlefield, you get this aura, and you can sack it. Oh, I see. So target play. So Alter says sack a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power from the top of their library into their graveyard, and then when enchanted creature is put into a graveyard, return that creature to play. So you get your Iridescent Drake back. You can bring your Abduction back from the graveyard, put on the Drake, and then you infinitely mill your opponent to death. To death, I say. The Grimoire Thief combo is modern legal. You should add it to the Merfolk livestream. Absolutely not. I'm never playing that card. That card is so bad. Yeah, mill him. Mill players in 2023 be like, I'm drooling. They want to go play old school for that combo. Calentera's Tolarian Academy combo would still get turn 1 wins. Check out the Gauntlet of Greatness for some examples. No, I will not do that right now. Okay, an old school combo, Goblin Sharpshooter and Venomous Fangs. Goblin Sharpshooter. Oh, so you're just gonna make it Venomous Fangs. So Goblin Sharpshooter, red, 2 generic, 1/1. Doesn't untap during your untap step, but when a creature dies, you get to untap it and tap, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So with Venomous Fangs, I'm sure you're gonna get Death Touch or something. Whenever an enchanted creature successfully deals damage to a creature, destroy that creature. Remember to get your old school combos from FusionGamingOnline.com, that's for sure. Okay, Christopher B. Trying really hard to get these combos here. Okay, Nomad's Encore. Let's the second shot at Nomad's Encore. The Daru Spiritualist. Whoops. Daru Spiritualist. The Starlit Sanctum is an infinite life combo. So how does this work? How old is this? This is a little old school. This is Onslaught. All right, you can tap, add a mana to your mana pool, pay a white, tap, sack a cleric. You gain life equal to the cleric's toughness, and pay a black, tap, sack a cleric. Target player loses life equal to that cleric's toughness. But we're going for the life gain today. Daru Spiritualist. It's a 2 mana 1/1 cleric. Whenever a cleric you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +0/+2 until end of turn. So it's not technically infinite life, it's just a really big number. So Nomad's Encore is like 0 mana, next 1 damage that would be dealt to Nomad's Encore is going to be dealt to the Spiritualist. So it's going to get infinite almost infinite toughness. It's going to have 100 bazillion Google billion toughness. And then you Starlit, sack the thing to gain that much life. But it does not defend you from infinite damage, remember that. I have too many super chats to get through. We got to keep going. We have or I don't know about too many super chats, but I'll get through some super chats. We got Tabernacle. We got Eve Nova with the Tabernacle. The Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. Living Plane. Now the show ends when the super chats end. And Guy's Cradle. Yes, this is a very expensive combo that's not any good. It's not any good anymore. Guy's Cradle. Add a green for each creature you control. Living Plane. All lands are 1/1 creatures that are still lands. And then Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. So, Oh, that is pretty sweet. So the Tabernacle says, at the beginning of each upkeep, everyone has to pay 1 mana or they lose their creature. So the deal is your opponent's creatures, all their lands are 1/1. So basically they're locked out of the game. They're going to either pay mana to keep their land alive, which makes it useless, or they're going to lose it. And they're certainly going to lose the creatures on the battlefield. But you're not going to lose your creatures because we've got Gaia's Cradle. We're going to add a green to our mana pool for each creature we control. So just Gaia's Cradle by itself will add all the green to help pay for the Tabernacle triggers that we have at our upkeep. And so our lands and our creatures are going to go in and get in there and win the game. Good stuff. Yeah, the Cradle lets you pay for everything. You use that in your Treva EDH deck? Oh, yes, you must be making really good friends with all... You play with Tabernacle with your friends in EDH? Some evil stuff happening in EDH these days still. Ah, we got Yo Little Ted. Thank you so much for Acid Rain and Magical Hack. Sounds like Yo Little Ted absolutely loved Magical Hack back then. Acid Rain, blue 3 generic, destroy all forests. This will still work today, but like, so you can change the word forest to anything you want. Magical Hack for a blue, change the text of target permanent or spell by replacing all instants of one basic land type with another. So Acid Rain could destroy all the forests, or maybe you want to destroy all the mountains, or the swamps, or even the plains. Destroy whatever you want. I love this card. I wish it was legal. This is the only land hate card that's on the reserve list. How BS is that? If you want to blow up all the mountains, if you want to if you know the red land destruction, the white land destruction, the black land destruction, they're all fine. They all exist. But yeah, it works with flash fires. They're all legal. But when it comes to the blue one, no. We gotta put the blue one on the reserve list. Yeah. Ugh. Boo. Boo Wizards puts this one on the reserve list, and everything else is not on the reserve list and perfectly legal. Unbelievable. Yeah, we don't talk about Boyle here. Yeah. We don't talk about Boyle. All right, that's gonna be it for Coffee and MTG today. I hope that brought some people back down memory lane. Them old school combos that we don't see anymore. Because they suck. But you can still play them in EDH. EDH lets you play all sucky cards perfectly fine. It's perfectly permissible. But if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much for your support, all your super chats, people who are members on YouTube and patrons on Patreon. Because of all of you, I keep doing this every morning because it's so much fun. And I have financial benefit for it. But we got to also thank everybody for all the people that show up in the morning, like Monster CC, Spectral Maniac, David, Argentina. We got Geyer, Toads, Blacklance Geo, Jess, Rotboy, Trevor, Balder. We got Alpha Nerd, Christopher B, David. Who else do we have? Yo Little Ted, Liquid Soulfly, Toilet, Doc, Bark, Zilla, Mr. Deadhead, Steve. Because without all you guys in the morning, I'd have no show. You guys are the show. Remember that. You guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees like I'm brewing up these frappuccinos, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you